guys, welcome to my April reading wrap-up. This month I read 6 books. 2 of them were paperback and the rest of them were on my Kindle. Yeah, so let's begin. Okay, so the first book that I read was The Predator. Okay, I reread a lot this month and this was one of the books that I reread. This is the first book of the Dark Verse series by Runix. I love this series. This is one of my comfort series. I think that's a word. Anyways, it's one of my comfort series, and this is the first book. This follows Tristan Kane and Morana, I cannot say her last name, Vitalio, there we go, Morana Vitalio. And this book is enemies to lovers, okay? And this series, okay, let me talk about this series real quick. So if you're looking for a book that has like, I'm sorry, I'm like looking elsewhere and everywhere. I'm still a little bit nervous talking to the camera, so just deal with it. I'm sorry. Okay, anyways, if you're looking for a series that has like plot, suspense, I'm gonna close the window. I feel like there's a lot of noise outside. Okay, if you're looking for a series that has like a lot of plot, a lot of suspense, some really great chemistry between characters, you've got found family. That is one of my main things about this series, found family. I loved that about this series. The closeness of the characters, even though like none of them are related to each other, I loved it. I loved it so much. The second book is The Reaper, okay, and you cannot read the first book, or sorry, you can't read the second book without reading the first book. They are interconnected, but it was also really, really good. Like, I give these like infinity stars because it's just something about Runix's writing, because not only do I really enjoy the writing, but I also really enjoy just like, I guess just reading. It's like one of those books where it's like while you're reading it, you can imagine what's going on. You know, that's how well it's written. And there's never been a point in the series where I'm like, okay, yeah, like let me skip over it. There's too much going on. There's too little going on. There's always everything that Runix writes in this series. And yes, I'm talking about the entire series. It's all intentional. Okay, I'm gonna do a whole video on the series one day, but just to get into these 2 books specifically, you get a look into the plot in this book. I think I already mentioned that, but so when you first start the series, just know that these 2 books are about the same people, okay? But don't let that stop you, okay? Because usually the thing with me is that if I find out that a series is about the same people, I usually stop reading it. But the thing with this series, or at least these 2 books, is that in the first book, you are getting everything about everyone, including the 2 characters. But you're also getting the feel of the entire like city, right? You're getting the feel of all the characters. You're getting the feel of who's the enemy, who's not the enemy, who's maybe the enemy, the characters who you're going to get introduced to later on in the series, the just everything that has happened that has led to this point, you're going to find in this book, okay? And then you get to the Reaper, okay? And the Reaper is focused on the actual relationships between the characters, specifically our 2 main characters, Tristan and Morana. I love Tristan Kane, my favorite book boyfriend. That's it. I said what I said, okay? So you already know I adore this series. Anyways, yeah, so this book you're gonna get more of the characters' relationships. You're gonna get an understanding of, I guess, what goes through everyone's heads, okay? It is third person, okay? And it's more geared to the understanding of, I would say, okay, this is kind of, I guess, like going into like a video that I would do for the entire series, but I would say that it's more focused on like Morana's POV, even though it is third person. It is more focused on what Morana thinks rather than like what Tristan thinks, but that doesn't mean you don't get Tristan's perspective. You do get Tristan's perspective, but I think you get more of Morana's perspective. Anyways, highly recommend this series. It is so good. I adore it. Okay, the next book that I read, I don't think these are in order, but again, as I mentioned before, I did a lot of rereading. By the way, I'm looking back because I have a mirror set over there so I can just see what you guys are seeing. I did a lot of rereading this series. A lot of rereading this month. And the other reread that I did is, okay, I talk about this book all the time. I have reread this book. I think this is like my 4th or 5th time rereading this book. And the thing is that I don't think I always end up like marking it as like reread on Goodreads. It's just like one of those comfort reads. Anyways, the book I'm talking about is When She Tempts by Gabriel Sands. This is the 2nd book in the Fallen series. and oh my god, I adore it. I love it so much. Like, this is my comfort read because you're getting like everything you could want, right? You're getting plot, you're getting characters, and the character depth, right? Because, sorry, I say right a lot. Martina, that's her name, right? Yeah, okay. Martina, she is our main character, and Giorgio is the MMC, okay? And Martina's brother sends Martina with Giorgio to somewhere because of a reason, which if you've read the first book, you will know, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there is a reason that she ends up going with Giorgio. Giorgio is her brother's acquaintance. They're more of, I guess, like business partners than anything else. And so, forbidden. So I consider this kind of like a bodyguard romance because, bodyguard. So anyways, I really enjoyed the series mainly because you get Martina's perspective. Oh my god. You get Martina's perspective with everything. She has been through a traumatic childhood, and so when you get like her emotions to everything, her her like thought process of meeting other people, her thought process of leaving her home, her thought process of leaving her brother, it's so sad, but I adore it. I love the writing. Gabriel Sam's writing, phenomenal. I love it so much. If you haven't read this series, read the entire series. It was really, really good, but this has to be my favorite book. I think I've been rereading it for like the past year at least. Adored it. Okay, the next book that I read was also a reread. This is Painted Scars by Neva Altach. This is the first book in the Perfectly Imperfect series. I really enjoy this series too. This is a quick read series. Like, I think there's how many books? I keep saying there's 8 books, but there's actually 9 books. The other one just came out in March. I haven't read that one yet. And the next one is coming out in December. My favorite book of the series though is Silent Lies, which is book 8. But that does not mean I did not enjoy this book. I really much did enjoy this book. I did find it a little bit, and I have found this like every time I've read it. I don't necessarily reread this book specifically, but I kind of reread like the books all over the series. They are interconnected, but like you can read them as standalones. You'll be fine. This book specifically, I kind of think it was a little bit rushed. There were moments where it was like, I'm like, okay, we can slow down, or you did not need to add that, or you kind of skipped over that part. I think there were a couple of plot holes, not in a way where it's like, you can't read it or anything. If you haven't checked out the series, I highly recommend. This book was 270 pages on Kindle, so again, it's a really quick read. Okay, the next book that I read actually was a trilogy, and I did not know this. So this is Alexius by Bella J. I read Bella J's books. I have read Bella J's books in the past, and I don't remember which one it was, but I did like her writing, and so I decided to try this one out. This is a Dark Sovereign series, by the way. I did not know that this was a trilogy. Again, right? So when I started Alexius, I was like, okay, this is gonna end, and then we're gonna start on the second book and the third book, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna be different people. And I get to the end of this book, and it was not. So about this book, it was good. I did not mind it too much. It was good, It was, would I reread it? Probably not. But do I regret reading it? Not really. Okay. But I get to the end of this book. Okay. And then I find out that this is the second book. And so I'm like, you know what? I'll read the second book. And I go to read the second book, and boy, was I disappointed. Okay. I start off and it's going good. I'm like, okay, like good. It's a continuation of the last book. We're going good. And then we get to the middle and we're doing good. And then I get to the end and the ending. Listen, if there's 2 tropes I hate, it's miscommunication and betrayal. Okay. And I think those like fall hand in hand because, oh my god, did this book mess with me. I was mad. Okay. Like I was mad. It really made me mad because it low-key felt like a waste of time. Okay. I'm going to be blatantly honest. It felt like a waste of time because, okay, 2 characters are doing perfectly fine, right? And all of a sudden you have them. My foot is asleep, so I'm gonna have to okay, there we go. So 2 characters are doing perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden you have to like it felt like there was this unnecessary use of an issue, like the author kind of just tossed it in there. No hate to the author, it's just my opinion. Okay, if you guys like this book, no hate to you either, my opinion. Okay, just being brutally honest here. Okay, it was not for me. I did not enjoy that. I felt like it was just like tossed in kind of just to like cause an issue. I did not read the third book, and maybe the third book is phenomenal. Okay, maybe the third book is phenomenal. Nothing against the author. I did like the author's other book that I read, and I honestly I did enjoy this book. It wasn't horrible, right? This one I just the starting and the middle was good, and then the ending again, it just I could not do it, because not only was there like betrayal and miscommunication, but it was just like it was so unnecessary. I know I already mentioned this, but it was so unnecessary. There is no reason for this individual to be doing anything like that, right? Anyways, so I did not read the third book. I stopped on this one, and it kind of left me in a reading slump. And I think I finished this April 27th. I'm pretty sure. Today is May 1st, right? Yep, today is May 1st. So by the time this video goes up, it's probably going to be like way later. But anyways, and after April 27th, I don't think I read for like 2 days. 2 days? Like, okay, I started my next read on April 29th, the day before yesterday. So, which I'll get into what that was. But anyways, though, that's my wrap up. That was The Predator and the Reaper by Runix, When She Tempts by Gabriel Sands, Alexius by Bella J, His Wife by Bella J, and Painted Scars by Neval Tej. Overall, I would give this month, I think I would give it like a 3 out of 5 for reading, because like 70% of the books that I read were rereads. So, you know, I wasn't really diving into anything new, and the new stuff that I did dive into I didn't really like. So I would give it like a 3 out of 5. You know, I enjoyed it, but I think May's gonna be better. So anyways, on the other hand, for May, I don't usually do TBRs, so I don't think I'm gonna do like a TBR video. But what I did do on my TikTok is I put a little filter, because there's this TikTok filter that tells you how many books you should read for the month. I got 16. At first I think I got 30 at first. And I can't do that because I am starting my spring semester on Monday, and that's going to be impossible. So I'm like, I'm not even going to attempt it. 16 is doable. Okay, I usually read like 7 to 15 books throughout the month. So, you know, I did read 6 this month. But anyways, I usually read 7 to 15. So I think 16 is doable. Stay tuned. The book that I'm reading right now is part of the Hollow Boy series by Monty J. It is what is it? I keep on saying The Silent Lies, because there's a book in Neval Tej's series called The Silent Lies. It's called The Lies We Tell, which is the first book, and I am really enjoying it. I'm 50% through. I started it on April 29th. Yeah, the day before yesterday. And I'm really enjoying it. It is kind of a lengthy read, and it's really detailed, so it is taking me a little bit of time to get through, and I'm kind of taking breaks in between, but you know, we're getting through it, and I'm really enjoying it. Again, the second book that I am almost finished, I'm listening to an audiobook of Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. My cousin recommended it to me a bunch of times, and I have tried getting through it. I have it on my shelf. It's another edition of it. It's called The Metamorphosis, and it's really good too. I think I finished like 75% of it, but I never got to finish the entire thing, and I had a lot of stuff to do yesterday. Went to the mall, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna put on my audiobook and gonna do whatever I need to do. I'm almost done it. I have 14 minutes left, and then I will probably post a little like TikTok review or something. And then maybe at the end of the month, you will see it. Not maybe, actually probably. You will see it on my YouTube. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books, or if you have any recommendations based off the ones that I loved, or, you know, any books that I love that you don't, or any other opinions. Let me know.